Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for July 22nd. July 22nd is the 203rd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 204th in leap years, with 162 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is grisaille. It can be pronounced grisaille or grisaille. It's a noun that usually refers to a method of painting in a gray monotone in such a manner as to give a three-dimensional effect. This may be done in order to depict or simulate sculptured relief or as underpainting for a glaze finish. Not limited to painting, grisaille can be also seen in stained glass pieces. The term grisaille may also be used to describe an art process whereby a dark base of porcelain or enamel work is covered with various thicknesses of white so as to produce a cameo effect, with the dark color showing through. You might even hear the word grisaille in reference to a fancy dress fabric with a fine crosswise rib and a grayish color resulting from interweaving black and white threads. This type of fabric was originally made of silk, but can certainly be made of other fibers these days. There's a similar term for grisaille paintings that have been done in tones of brown or green. Such monochromatic paintings in brown might be called brunaille, and green ones might be called verdaille. Brune for brown and verd for green. By the way, there are quite a few artists on YouTube who paint using a grisaille underpainting and then add color in glazes. If you'd like to see a few examples of that in practice, I'll leave some links in the description for you in case you'd like to check that out. The word grisaille comes to us from French. First known use of the word grisaille is 1848. Grisaille. Grisaille was requested by YouTube viewer Teresa Ramsire at tramsire. Thanks, Teresa. And if you have a word you'd like to see in this Word of the Day segment, drop it in the comments. We'll get it on the list. And with that, this is the birthday of American artist Edward Hopper, born July 22, 1882. He was an American realist painter, particularly known for his oil paintings, although he did work in watercolors and etchings as well. He lived to the age of 84. This is the birthday of musician, singer, songwriter, and record producer Don Henley, born July 22, 1947, in Gilmer, Texas. Best known as founding member of the Eagles, his career begins in the early 60s while he was still in high school. Later on, out in California, he met Glenn Frey and then Randy Meisner and Bernie Leadon, and the four of them formed the Eagles in 1971. The Eagles have experienced several personnel changes and have been active on again, off again, and are currently active. He writes songs that people like to listen to and has a good voice. With the Eagles and by himself, his discography includes many songs on albums, in videos, and in singles. Now, before we roll on into the song of the day, we're going to keep it short. One of us took a spill yesterday and got a goose egg scrape on my arm and more of an ostrich egg on my leg, and I still don't know how I did it. But there you go. Take care of yourselves, folks, and stay upright if you can. Remain vertical. We have a playlist of episodes for this day in history, as well as a playlist of single subjects called How About That, and Words of the Day, and a playlist called There's a Word for That, and I'll leave links to those playlists for you. Today's song is Dirty Laundry by Don Henley. This one appears on Don Henley's 1982 debut solo album, I Can't Stand Still, and also as a single. It's a quite relatable song about the tabloidization of all news and the callousness of those who deliver it. Too much negative sensationalist news with little regard for what's actually important, as noted in the lyrics, "We all know that crap is king." He nailed it in 1982, and unfortunately it's still true, and maybe even more so now. Catchy song, though. It got number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 1 on the Billboard Top Rock Tracks and Canadian RPM Top Singles, and is certified gold with over 1 million copies sold. Dirty Laundry by Don Henley. Link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with the link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.